Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is my bullet journal for the month of November 2024. I'm excited to get into it because this is the thing that I really like. Here are the supplies that I used for this video. These are all the Tombows. I actually matched this to the paper pad that I'm using, the paper pad being Sunday Morning from Craftsmith. Everything that I use will be linked below in the video description. So if you're interested, there it is. And if I couldn't find it, then I'll try to find you something else. Here are also the microns that I used. I think I used more than just these two sizes, but you'll see that in the video if I used anything else. First things first, I'm going to swatch out my colors. I wrote down the numbers to each of them right beside it so that later on in the drawing process I wouldn't get confused. Some of these colors are kind of close when you're just looking at the caps, like both of the oranges, the 912 and the 873. They look very much alike when you're just looking at their caps, so I just wanted to make sure that I remembered what they were. Also, that 873 looks kind of neonish when you color with it, so I want to make sure that I'm not coloring with that neon kind of orange when I want to be coloring with the more I guess earthy kind of orange, the orange that I'm using right now, the 912. If you're looking at what I penciled in, I also was supposed to write in the date and the month on the candle and on the cup, but during the process I found I kind of didn't like that because I had so much space where where the candle, like on top of the cookies. So I decided not to go with that. And I was going to put a phrase there, which is why I was creatively going to put it on the candle and on the cup. But I never found a phrase that I really wound up liking. And I was like, I'm just not going to spend time doing that later on in the month. November is going to be a very busy month for me. So if I don't have a phrase up there, it's all right. I have a lot of spreads for November. I historically always have a lot of spreads for November and December and January, just because there are a lot of things going on in those months, and I use my journal a little bit more during those months, especially from a planning perspective. And this is probably also why these wind up being the first 3 months in whatever new journal I get. Like, I've been noticing that trend for the past couple of years. The last 3 months are always the first months in a new journal for me, but we'll see. Maybe I just wound up getting on some kind of crazy pattern like that. Let's get into these cookies. So I'll tell anybody that I am not the greatest artist, and I recognize that this is either an itty bitty plate or this is a big huge cookie, or yeah, the cookie's got to be huge, because how did these three little cookies take up all this whole plate like that? But you know what? Give your girl credit where credit is due, because I drew these cookies and they look pretty good, and I could tell that it was 3 cookies and not just one giant blob of a cookie. So, like, go me for being able to do that. I'm not gonna say I'm the best, but I am. I'm learning. I'm like pre-K on this drawing cookies thing, man. Like, here we go. Now, the only thing I couldn't figure out next was how to draw or how to color in the shadows underneath that cookie. So we got a one-dimensional plate that's just filling in space underneath these cookies, but we'll figure that out. I haven't gotten to the shadows unit on the art book. But anyway, moving on. I am drawing gold. So in the Sunday Morning paper pad that I was using, they do have gold elements. So I decided, hey, let me see if I can use my gold Sharpie and kind of get that gold effect. Now, again, this was all just for the color scheme. It may or may not look like that. But let's go on to my next page, which is just my important dates. Normally, again, this would have also been a place where I could have had like an important saying, or if I could have collaged some more stuff, but it's the end of the year. I got a lot of important things coming up, so I decided that I was just going to put this on the next page and kind of use it as a very quick visual. Now, you could say that on the next page, which is going to be my big calendar, that is my visual calendar. But again, like, I need both. and both of them will wind up helping me. I will probably fill in things on this calendar throughout the month, and then on the other calendar, just like do some pre-planning. You'll see what I'm doing. But right now, I'm just highlighting the weekends. It gives my calendar a little breakup so that I'm not just, it's not just one long list. And then on the weekends, I also make sure that with being able to have that visual cue, it lets me know that, hey, the next week is starting. Now, I did want to decorate this a little bit. I didn't want to just leave it plain. So I'm going to add in some paper from that paper pad, and I'm going to put it on the edge. Right now, I didn't show it to you, but I did go ahead and cut it to the shape of the page. I didn't feel like, you need to know what it looked like when I cut it. You know how cutting paper looks. I also have a ton of papers from Michael, well, washes from Michael. So I went through my stash to see if I could find this one. And honestly, I'm not sure if I bought this at the same time that I bought that paper pad. I don't think all these decorations are in the paper pad. So it might have just been a washi that was similar or close to that paper pad. And I'm going to use them together. I also have this gold foil one. So I thought that looked neat together in a layering type thing. So I was talking about that big calendar. Let's go ahead and draw in that big calendar. So again, you can see where I already penciled it in. I'm just going to trace it out with my color. I typically don't do a lot to decorate my calendar. Like I always try to, but I don't. But I actually put in some forethought and some effort with this one. So like I said, my theme is, just coffee, cookies, and coffee, tea, cookies, and a candle. So actually where this comes from is this is pretty much my morning routine or my pre-morning routine before everybody else gets up. So normally I like to get up in the morning and enjoy a hot cup of tea or coffee, and I light a candle and just kind of prepare for my day. I look over my notes. I think about what I did yesterday. I try to bring it all in together. I start doing my future planning. I start trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the day. And then, I'll go to work. So that's pretty much what my morning looks like. And honestly, before I even thought about that would be my theme for this month, like I was already leaning towards that. It's weird. I guess sometimes, you just wind up doing some things accidentally on purpose. But that's where this whole thing comes from. So, yeah, just a little background on that theme. Again, and the paper pad was Sunday morning. It kind of went with that. It kind of like that whole paper pad just wound up matching. And I just happened to find it on my desk. It's almost as if everything just lined up for this to be my theme for this month. I hope it lines up like that for me for next month. But anyway, like I said, I tried to go a little bit more in depth with this calendar just because it's, it gives me something to look at. I want to open up my calendar a little bit more if I decorate and put more effort into it. So with this gray, you see me drawing little cups. I drew coffee beans as well. So the dark brown and the light brown, those are coffee beans. I honestly don't know whether light roast coffee comes as a light roasted bean. I really couldn't tell you because I only drink whatever coffee kind of comes to the house. I like coffee and I like different flavors, but when it comes, you couldn't tell me or ask me to go into the store and be like, hey, go get me a light roast, because I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, if it's written on the bag, then I'll get you whatever's written on the bag. But anyway, so this is just my rendition of what I think a light roast and a dark roast coffee bean looks like. Also drew a tea kettle or coffee kettle, depending, and cookies. So that's what I drew. That's what I drew in for each one of the dates. Normally I just do a circle, but like I said, I'm trying to upgrade it a little bit. And I'm going to brush letter November in here. Also on the sides, I'm going to put the number of the week that it is. So 45, 46, 47, or 48. I find that kind of helps me put into perspective where we are in the year, because there's only 52 weeks in the year. And if we're already in the 40s, my goodness, what am I doing with my time? I'm also going to put my socials on the side. Like, I try to get those to grow. You know, just as a content creator, always trying to grow and keep in perspective where I am on that count and make sure I'm doing right by my followers, make sure I'm doing right by my subscribers. I don't want to get too far away from, you know, giving the content that y'all come over to me for. So I'm making sure that I'm planning that. I didn't draw a whole lot. I'm going with the scrap. I'm doing the scrapbook kind of like mix. So I'm going to use some more of that paper. I struggle with not being able to use the full sheet of paper, and I'm trying to, but I'm recognizing that just because I tear off a piece of paper doesn't mean that I have to use the whole piece of paper in one layout. It doesn't mean that I have to use the whole piece of paper in all of my spreads for that month. I can save the paper for next time. I can save the paper for other things. I can go get another piece of paper out of that same paper pad and it not be wasteful. These are my mantras, my crafting mantras, because for some reason I try to figure out how I can use the whole paper pad in one go, and that's just not how it works. It's not feasible. Maybe if I was making like a mini album, which now I'm gonna have to make a mini album, I set myself up. But if I make it, I'll put it on my page. Next, we're going over into my next spread, which is just a spread for planning for the month. If you're in the United States, we have Thanksgiving. My family, we have like our group chat where we plan these different things, but it always changes. And there's always someone who's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be bringing. And because they don't know what they're bringing, we all have to go scroll up into the chat, or someone has to remember what they bought. I'm going to write it down and we're going to see if it helps. I don't know if you can hear my coffee brewing in the background, but yes, this is my morning routine and my coffee is being brewed in the background. So underneath the Thanksgiving assignment, I have my recipe. I always try to do something a little different for Thanksgiving, and I never write down my recipe. I kind of just stop when the ancestors tell me to stop with different things, but I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write it down and, you know, and try to remember what I have. We're spending Thanksgiving with family, so I want to make sure that these recipes are repeatable, and maybe I'll have something worth giving to my kids when they become adults. Next is my shot list, and it's not like shots like alcohol. It's shots like pre-planning the video. So I want to do something kind of different. I want to create a Thanksgiving family video. So I'm trying to go ahead and pre-plan the shots that I want to take for that video, and I'm going to write it down, because again, if you don't write it down, it didn't happen. All right, going over into this next spread. This spread is going to be a pre-planner for the week. Now again, this seems excessive because I have a calendar, I have the list of days, and now I have a week by week planner. So again, all these different methods will help me. We'll see which one sticks. But I created this one so I could just write down what I need to do for the week and kind of do some future planning, and also write down things that I might need to do for, you know, December or January. Because one thing I've recognized in my journal is like I don't create spaces to do planning outside of the future log. So I might run out of space. The future log is just like one little line that I can write. I want to make sure that I have more space to write what I'm planning. And that's the one part that I always mess up. If I don't remember it on the day that I'm creating the calendar for that month, then it just gets lost. So I want to do a little bit better by that. And I'm hoping that this bi-week planner will help me. So what we're doing in the middle here is this is the steam from the plate, or well, not from the plate, from the coffee cup. I was hoping that I would get it, or I was hoping that I could visualize that pretty well. This was actually my daughter's idea. She said, you know, I could just do steam coming off the cup. And I was just like, hey, that's a good one. And I'm hoping to bring it in by using some of the features from the paper pad. I have one right here, which is a cup. It has a little bit of gold foiling on the edges. And then we have the coffee pot. And I'm just going to write in the numbers of the weeks. And this will be my weekly planner. Okay, so let's go into, again, another for planning. So right here, this is my spread. The holidays are coming right on up. We celebrate Christmas and Kwanzaa. So this is going to be my Christmas and Kwanzaa planner, or at least the start of it. So for my Christmas planner, well, this is just going to be my gift list and anything extra that we do. I try to do something special every year for Christmas. We normally try to go see the lights, but the light shows have been ridiculous. So I think this year we're just going to have to do it old school, and we're going to have to ride through neighborhoods and appreciate the lights that people put on their houses, because the lines to get into these light shows are ridiculous, and a lot of the car drive-through places are starting to go walk through, and it's just a way to like kind of increase the price, I think, because you could get your whole car in there for like $30, and now it's $30 per person to walk through. So not doing that. But and for my Kwanzaa planner, it'll be more so, I always try to highlight an ancestor who is either passed recently or one that's in the past, and just have a couple of words to tell the kids about them, to make sure that we're still passing down those family traditions and who our family members were. It's important to me that the kids learn that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing in for Kwanzaa, and I'm going to go ahead and plan those out. Now let's go over to my last spread. So this last spread is the first weekly for the month of November. I decided to kind of upscale this one a little bit. I split each page into 6, and each block is going to be used differently. I'm going to go back and erase those lines because I don't want you to see that it was a block. It was more so just to help me plan what I wanted to draw for each one of these blocks. This right here is just going to be the month to remind me which week we are on and what day it is, so I can also always have a visual reminder without having to do a whole bunch of flipping through. Then I'm going to get on to decorating the rest of the spread. So the rest of the spread is just going to be putting the dates and doing a little bit of scrapbooking. You can see me doing the scrapbooking here. I'm going to combine some of these blocks so that they can go across, because there are only 7 days and I have 12 blocks to use. So I'll use one for notes, use one of them for like a to-do list, and we're just going to watch me kind of scrapbook it. So this right here, I'm going to leave a space for me to write something. I don't know what I might want to write, but something might strike me up to write about this week, and I'll probably write it right here. But since we're talking about it being the end of the year, what are y'all doing for the end of the year? Whether it's a celebration, meeting with family and friends, or maybe you're just going to carry on like regular life. I don't know. But put it in the comments below. I'd be interested to see how other people are celebrating or not celebrating at the end of the year. I know for us, like this is my favorite time of the year, just because, again, I like celebrating things. I like commemorating things. I like the family time. And I feel like a lot of childhood memories are potentially made here. Like I have childhood memories the end of the year, and I can always think of a couple of my favorite ones with my dad at the end, that happen right here around Christmas, where just again some of the happier times of life. So I want to make sure that my kids are getting those as well, and that as the parent, it's my duty to facilitate those kind of things, and I want to be conscious about it. These moments don't just happen out of nowhere. You have to curate them so that they can become the things that the kids remember, or at least look at fondly. I don't know. But I want to make sure that it's an intentional kind of thing, and not just something that, and not just years going by. But yeah, anyway, if you have anything that you want to share, put it in the comments. I'd love to know. Okay, so here you see me put in the boxes for the day and the date. So I'm just going to go back in and I'm going to write the day of the week here and the date. Something that I'm trying to do also with, in speaking with being more intentional, if I don't have anything going on that day, I want to make sure that I'm writing down something positive about the day, some kind of thought about the day in my journal. So it's going to kind of be like the one a day kind of things, where like I said, I'll have one thing that I'm grateful for, or something positive, or something crazy. Like, for example, if one of my kids has they say something that I didn't expect them to say, or something that's amusing, or something that I noticed about them, I want to write that down so that they can have it. So anyway, let's get into the final flip through. So here's my calendar. You just saw the title page. My planning spread.
So cute. I like it.
and then the weekly planning spreads.
That's the idea you had about the steam.
And then the first weekly. So thank you if you watched this video for this long. Oh yeah, the gift list and the Kwanzaa list. Sorry about that. Forgot that one, which is why I put it down there. So if you watch this video for this long, I truly appreciate it. Let me know in the comments. Drop me an emoji, drop me a comment or something. Let me know you made it to the end. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button. And I'll be with y'all next month. You have a good Thanksgiving. Bye, y'all.